The WIAA released the playoff brackets today, and one local matchup happens in Division 5 where Poynette travels to Partyville. Travis, why don't you give us some notes on that game?
Yeah, it's an interesting matchup. A couple local teams squaring off. Should be a short road trip for the Pumas. Partyville is actually the number 2 seed in their bracket. They're coming off an 8-1 season, 7-0 conference champions in the large trailways. So they've won 8 straight heading into the playoffs. They lost their season opener against Waterloo 10-6, so they're kind of rolling now. They're coming off, as far as playoff experience, last 2 years they've been bounced in the first round, so they're looking to end that trend, including last year's 35-21 loss to an Iowa Grant team. So Poynette, they're also kind of riding a hot streak. They've won 4 in a row. They finished 4-1 in the Capital North, finished second to Lodi. They last year have also lost in the opening round to Winnebago Lutheran 35-zip. And they also have a common opponent with Partyville. One of their losses also came against Waterloo. They lost 33-23 week 3 in them, so they got a common opponent there. They both lost to Waterloo, so that should be an interesting matchup in D5.
Sounds good. In D4, Lodi received a top seed, 104 in Division 4. They finished 5-0 in first place in the Capital North Conference and 8-1 overall. They also have won 8 straight. They lost in week 1 but haven't lost since. They'll play River Valley, which finished 3-2 in the Southwest Wisconsin Conference. They finished second in that league, and they finished 7-2 overall. These two teams met in the first round of last year's playoffs, and Lodi ended up winning 28-21, so a close game. Both teams have a pair of good running backs. Tyler Caldwell with Lodi, according to our Capital newspaper's scoreboard, is the second leading rusher in the area, and Nick Radlinger from River Valley, according to the leaderboard, is the 4th leading rusher. So a couple of teams that statistically can do it on the ground. Montello Princeton Green Lake is making its first playoff appearance as a co-op program. They'll head to 2nd seed Gale Ettrick Trempealeau in the first round. The Redmen finished second in the Cooley Conference with a 4-1 record, and they finished 7-2 overall, while the Phoenix, who we've talked about a lot this year, finished second in the Trailways Large with a 5-2 record, and they were 6-3 overall this season. Gale Ettrick Trempealeau has advanced to the playoffs for a number of consecutive seasons now, and they've gone to the second round each of the last 3 seasons. So they're a pretty experienced playoff team, while Montello is obviously, Montello Princeton Green Lake is new to the playoffs, so it'll be an interesting matchup to see how each team responds. We have a couple area teams in Division 7 as well, so why don't you take us through those games?
Yeah, we have actually 3 teams that qualified in Division 7. Cambria-Friesland will open up against Schulzburg on Tuesday night. The Hilltoppers finished 5-1 in the small trailways, which was good enough to earn them co-championship status with Randolph. Cambria-Friesland is going into the playoffs after winning 4 straight games. And during that 4-game winning streak, they are averaging almost 50 points a game, so they're kind of cranking here. Last year, they lost to Almond Bancroft in the opening round of the playoffs, 14-zip, so they'll be looking to kind of get back into the winning ways in the playoffs. Schulzburg is a team local fans might remember that beat Rio last year in the opening round of the playoff. Schulzburg finished 5-3 in their conference, which was 4th place in the Six Rivers League, so they're kind of a middle team in the pack in their conference, so we'll kind of see what happens there. Another matchup is Ithaca at Randolph. Randolph, as I said earlier, kind of shared the small trailways title with Cambria. They finished 5-1 in the league and 7-2 overall. And they're kind of also rolling. They've won 6 straight heading into the playoffs here. And they've also pitched 3 shutouts up into their last 5 games, including a 21-0 victory over Cambria. And the reason that's noteworthy is because if Randolph and Cambria both win their opening round matchups, they'll have a rematch in the second round. So we'll see what happens there. Ithaca, they're 3-3 in their Ridge and Valley Conference, 4-5 overall. They finished 4th in that league. They're kind of on the opposite end of the trend. They won just 1 of their last 4 games, although they did beat Pepin last year in the first round of the playoffs, so they have some positive playoff experience. And our final local matchup is Wazeeka Steuben versus Rio, and that game's actually going to be played in Portage on Tuesday night. Rio, they finished 3-3 in the small trailways, 4-5 overall. And while they've been struggling lately, they had lost 3 straight. They did get playoff eligible to win on Thursday night over Fall River, a convincing 49-8 win. And like I said last year, they had lost to Schulzburg, so they're looking to get back in their winning ways in the playoffs. Wazeeka Steuben quickly, they're the 4th seed. They finished 4-2 in the Ridge and Valley Conference, 5-4 overall. They also played Fall River this year way back in week 1 and beat them 42-16, so they got a common result against a common opponent. So it'll be interesting to see what happened. And last year they lost to Hillsborough 49-zip in the opening round, so they'll be looking to maybe reverse that trend against Ryle.
All right, let's make some predictions. First of all, point at Partyville. Who do you think wins that one?
I think that's going to be an exciting game, very close. I mean, it's going to be hard to pick out. I'll say Partyville, but I think it's going to be a 2-point game.
Sure. All right, I'll go with Partyville. I think it's going to be a little more than 2 points. We'll see. It'll be an exciting game, I suppose, but we'll go with Partyville on that one. Lodi and River Valley.
You got to go with Lodi. They're just rolling. I don't see any way that they lose this one.
Yeah, I don't know anything about River Valley, so I'm going to go with Lodi by default. Montello, Princeton, Green Lake at Gale, Ettrick, Trempealeau. Wow, that's a long title, but
yeah,
I think
that's a lot of words. I'm actually going to go with the Montello Co-op. I know they lost their last 2, but they like to pass the ball. Last night was not passing weather, rainstorm, so I think that loss, if it's good weather, they win that one. I'm going to pick them to maybe pull off a little upset.
I think just because I've heard of Gale, Ettrick, Trempealeau, and I know their team, even though I don't know much about them, I'm just going to go with them. They've been to the playoffs. They've been experienced. Montello, Princeton, Green Lake might just have the feeling of just being happy to be there kind of thing, so I'm going to have to pick against them, although they've had a great season.
Yep.
How about Ithaca at Randolph?
I got to go with the Rockets again, the local team. They're just hot, won 6 in a row. They're playing great defense. I think they're going to win.
I want Randolph. I'm going to pick Randolph and Cambria-Friesland to win, just because if they both do, that second round game is going to be really exciting. Local rivalry, it'll be cool. So
yeah,
I'm
I agree.
pushing for that.
I agree. Cambria-Friesland's going to win.
Yeah.
I think we'll see that exciting matchup in round 2.
Ryle?
This is tough because Ryle's been struggling, but I tell you what, I think they righted a lot of things with that big win over Fall River. I'm picking Ryle.
Wazeeka Steuben, again, I don't know who they are. I don't know where they're from, so Ryle wins by default with me. So Tuesday night's the first night of the playoffs, so it'll be exciting. Thanks for joining us. All right,
Cool.
Good.